here.
Yeah, she's waving.
Yeah, okay. And then we've got a very distinguished guest, our former president of BCA, Pasha Kondokar, the former Secretary General of BCA, M.A. Munim, and then we have a chair of Small Business, Federation of Small Business, and she had to travel all the way from Wales. So thank you so much for joining us here today. Really pleased to see you here. And above all, you will be surprised to know that people have traveled all the way from Chile to join us here today. And that's Hernan from Chile, one of our sponsors. And then we got Rao, he has traveled from Italy to join us here today. So that's a very, very warm welcome to these peoples because they have traveled very long, very far distance. Of course, Dave, thank you very much. It's from the Agro-Food. And also we got another gentleman from Agro-Food. He also traveled from Chile, I believe. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Now,
can I ask you all just to switch off your phones or put them on silent?
Thank you, yes.
Thank you. So as Ollie Khan said, my name's Sangeeta Waldron, and I'm very proud to be working with the Bangladesh Catering Association for this year's awards on the 19th of November. But before I start, and I see there's such a great turnout today and lots of fellow BCA members, but for those of you who don't know the BCA, I just want to briefly give you a little snapshot of the organisation. It's a not-for-profit organisation representing over 12,000 British Bangladeshi restaurants and takeaways from across the UK. And established in 1960 to represent the catering industry run by ethnic Bangladeshis. And today it employs over 100,000 people. It's phenomenal. And it has a yearly turnover of £4.2 billion. So that's huge. It's a very democratic organisation, and it elects its new members every 2 years. And during the course of this afternoon, we will be meeting some of the new members elected. But I'd like to start and request Dr. Rupa Huq to start today, please.
Rupa is not here. She'll be here later. Yes, sorry.
Okay.
Welcome.
So, sorry about that. True Indian style, Asian style. I'd like to introduce Kamal Yaqub, BCA president. And just to give you a little bit of background about Kamal, he became president this May, and he started his restaurant business in 1980 in Worcester, Surrey, and Worcester Park, Surrey, and is a very respected figure within the industry and very active and involved in different outlets. And what I love about Kamal, he was head of the Action Committee for 2008 demonstration in Trafalgar Square, one of the BCA's most successful campaigns. He also represented the BCA with other senior members to the Migration Advisory Committee, which is part of the Home Office, and successfully brought about the inclusion of Bangladeshi skilled chefs and managers in the shortage occupation list in the points-based system. So it's a huge credit there, and I now like Mr. Kamal to take the
Representative from Bangladesh High Commission, Sharif Apa, everybody calls her, the commercial councillor, all the dignitaries, all the media friends, and my fellow BCA colleagues. Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. I think we owe a big thank you to Dr. Rupa Huq for arranging this room for us. She will be here a bit later, but a lot of credit goes to her. We'll thank her enough when she comes here. Now, as you all know, in the run-up to the event that we hold every year, we have a press launch. So this is why we are here. This year, the award ceremony, the event, the big event that we hold yearly is going to be on the 19th of November at the Westminster Portcullis Hotel. A lot of you know, but that's where it's going to take place. This event has become BCA's most awaited event. We all wait for it. There are many reasons why you need this. First of all our colleagues, caterer friends, come over from all over UK to meet and greet each other and enjoy an evening full of delights and surprises. So that's one thing it does. We enjoy the get-together. Secondly, we identify and honor our chefs, the hidden talents from different regions on this day, and honor them with awards. We also find out the best restaurants from different regions and honor their owners. It all happens on that. There is a lengthy process in doing this. We have pre-selection, shortlist, and then the main, but we only declare this on the night, on the event day. We also honor some individuals for their work and for their achievement. So this is the honor side, this is the award side of it. Then we also have this, we want to make more awareness. As you all know, this is a 4.2 billion pounds industry. That's the amount we contribute to the treasury. But we always feel we are not recognized enough. I mean, everybody talks about we are probably 4th or 5th largest industry. And we have more than 12,000 restaurants and takeaways. But for this achievement, we are never recognized enough. So we want our media friends to pass this message over to people who can make a difference, who can help us achieve our goals. This industry at the moment is going through some tough times, facing some tough challenges. And they're almost unsurmountable challenges. As you all know, this staff crisis is one of our burning issues. I'll just talk about this staff crisis. My friend and younger brother, the Secretary General, will talk about other issues that we are facing. Shortage of staff is a huge problem. Although you heard that from the demonstration in 2008, after a lot of expense, after a lot of research, after having a lot of meetings with the Migration Advisory Committee in the Home Office, we managed to get into this shortage occupation list of the points-based system. Initially, it was okay, but now it has become very difficult to bring in skilled people from outside Europe, Southeast Asian countries, our country. It's very difficult because the rules are very stringent. They've made it very difficult. The salary threshold is now, it started off with 18,000, I believe. Now it is 29,570 pounds plus food, plus accommodation. The average restaurant doesn't pay that much to the chef. Maybe the very, very, very few who do tremendous business can afford this. So our lobbying point is this, that we lobby the government to reduce this threshold to under 20,000. And there is another thing that has made difficult for us. If a restaurant sells takeaways, they are not even allowed to bring in skilled people. Why? All the customers want takeaways, they want to sit in as well as have takeaways. But why don't they include takeaways? Or why don't they allow restaurant owners who sell takeaways to bring in people? So we want you to please, especially the media people, to pass this on, and you know better who to pass this on to. So I want to thank you all for attending. I'm impressed to see the huge turnout, and I can see that a lot of you have traveled a a great distance to be here. We are honored. This is called solidarity. I believe this is called unity. So thank you, and thank you. We need to thank our sponsors. We wouldn't be able to do any event had they not been there. So we have people who will say their names individually by on. I want to say thank you to all our sponsors for helping us achieve this and make these events happen. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening.
May I ask Atik Rahman and Tipu Rahman to bring the chefs to the stage, please?
All chefs here.
Within the time? Whether within the time?
Now you're probably thinking, why are we taking the chefs behind us? Why they're there? It's reason being, as you know, chefs are the backbone of the industry. What we are facing at the moment is the staff prices. It's a huge staff prices. And as you can see, these chefs, they are very young staff, and they wanted to learn how to cook curry.
Yes.
They are from the Hammersmith and West London College, these young chefs. And I think to bring them here to encourage you as well as them to they can see what the industry is doing, what is the industry worth, and how big is the industry. So this is just a sample that, and as you can see, there's some front staff. Those two on the side, they're working in the front of the house, and there's the two, they're working in the front of the house. And as you can see in the middle, we have two of our celebrity chefs, and they are both is responsible for the carrying out our BCA Chef of the Year competition. And this year it's headed by Atikur Rahman, and last few years it was headed by Chef Tipu Rahman, and he has done fantastically well. So we need to promote our chefs. This is the reason we're getting them here behind the view, and you guys got to be patient. You got to stand here for about 25 to half an hour. Is that okay? Hopefully you don't mind. Yeah, please. Yeah, closer. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So now please carry on.
You will be continuously photographed.
Yeah.
Thank you. I would now like to ask Mr. Forhad Hussain Tipu to read from the press release.
Thank you, Sangeeta. Assalamu alaikum, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good afternoon to all of you. I think Kamal Bhai already acknowledged everyone, so I'm just going straight to the press release. But thank you very much, everybody, to come here and to welcome everyone here. It gives me immense pleasure to stand here today on behalf of BCA Bangladesh Careers Association to read out the press release for BCA Award 2017. I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to all individuals for being so supportive in making this event successful. This reminds me that how very special BCA is, from humble origin dating back to 1960s, when there were fewer than 300 curry houses in the UK, an industry that started with so little has managed to create a thriving industry and secure its place in society. From a handful of business organizations, today BCA is recognized as the oldest, largest, strongest organization of its kind. Our yearly magazine is a brilliant display of talent, which celebrate the achievement and acknowledge and the dedication of the successful caterers and also act as the voice of caterers. Last year, our magazine was very much appreciated, which would not have been possible without your endorsement. Today, 4th of October 2017, at the Palace of Westminster, Wilson Room, in Portcullis House, Dr. Rupaho are hosting the Bangladesh Caterers Association here. She's supposed to announce that, but I hope she will announce this year exciting search to find Britain's best restaurant of the year and chef of the year. The winners will be announced at the special started event on 19th November at Park Plaza, Westminster Bridge, London, right opposite. These awards are now in its 12th year and a key event for the UK food and hospitality sector, which is much anticipated by all. BCA will recognize the achievement of outstanding restaurants and talent chefs who will have the skill to create curries full of flavors and aromas, including presentation. The award reignites Britain's love affairs with curry, which is very much part of mainstream culture and the country's DNA. In these politically uncertain times, it's communities and the love of good food that brings people together, and BCA has been doing exactly this since 1960, sourcing Britain curries and continuously striving for innovation and perfection. The theme of this year's award is BCA sourcing Britain's love for curry since 1960. Again, this year's theme is BCA sourcing Britain's love for curry since 1960. While this award at time of celebration, there is also an underlying message that BCA wants to get across. It's an organization representing 12,000 plus British Bangladeshi restaurants and takeaways in the UK. And like many small businesses across the country, they are facing hard times. The two main issues that BCA wants to highlight this year are, the number one, the shortage of skilled and unskilled chefs, which has to lead the closure of restaurants. Number two, for restaurants and takeaway, the current flat rate VAT threshold is 150,000, where a caterer pays 12.5% if the yearly turnover is 150 or less. It would help a lot of caterers if this threshold was raised to 250,000, as VAT rate 20% is considered to be very high and unaffordable. For most caterers, their annual turnover is between 150 and 250,000. The BCA has taken a resolution to lobby government to raise the threshold to 250,000. The sponsor for this year BCA award are Kubra Bihar, Kingfisher Bihar, Agro Europe, Chef Online, Squareman Insurance, Teletone, Sunmark, Madhus, and media partner Sonity. Let me conclude by saying BCA not only represents 12,000 restaurants and takeaway, but also BCA organization represent our culture, our legacy, our pride, our roots. Yes. I'm convinced that our conference is yet another milestone in our journey. However, I feel the need to express my joy to see the relation growing closer to all levels. This conference is a success because of your support. And I would like to especially thank my media friends and media partners. I can see the Vice Chair of Mr. Channelist, Mr. Abdul Haq is here. Thank you very much. And all the media partners, thank you very much. And you make it success. Thank you again.
Before we continue, can I just remind people to put their phones on silent, please? And I'm now going to, needs no introduction, Mr. Oli Khan.
First and foremost, I'd like to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who have given us this opportunity to stand in front of you and say a few words. My fellow caterers, my respected Commercial Councillor Sharifa Appa, respected former leader of BCA Pasha Khandokar, Secretary General Memunim, my very close allied, my elder brother, President of BCA Pasha Khandokar, Mustafa Kamal Yaqub, my treasurer Saidur Rahman Bipul, and all my fellow caterers. Assalamu alaikum. Firstly, I'd like to tell you that we have got the brief of the industry and where we are suffering. And main issues are the staff prices. And I always say that there's a 20,000 shortage in this industry at this moment, instantly. And that gaps is a huge gaps. And BCA is working towards that to fulfill these gaps. Now BCA is lobbying with the government to establish a college here or give us some sort of hope that we can get people from abroad, like from South Asia, Bangladesh, India or Pakistan, so that we can get more people here to fulfill these gaps and also get this restaurant running. You know, a lot of restaurants are closing. Still 3 to 4 restaurants closing every week. And if the restaurants is closing like this, then think in 5 years later what's going to happen. So there will be a lot of closure of restaurants in 5 years' times. So before most of the restaurants close, we need to take the initiative to save this industry. And this is the BCA's duty or responsibility to fight for the industry, because BCA is the only voice who fight for the 12,000 curry houses. Yes. So thank you everyone, and also the BAT part is also been covered on the press release, so I don't have to mention about the BAT, but as you know, we have actually working with the Home Office, working with the HM revenues, and to fulfill these gaps. And recently you probably have heard that a lot of restaurants has been raided because of the undocumented migrant. And this is something we actually wanted to talk with the Home Office and Her Majesty the Queen's, so that we can resolve some sort of issue in there. Because at the time of 2012, under the leadership of Pasha Khandokar, we have lobbied with the Home Office, and we were managed to reduce that rates, at least on Friday, Saturday. But that is still going on. At least Friday, Saturday is not many rates going on. But there is a rates going on at this moment in red alert, I would say. And government is actually spending a lot of money taking these people out of this country. But I always say that I was on Channel 4 last week, and I said that if the government allow these people to stay in this country, earn money by the legal way, then in such a way that they can contribute back to the country by their PAYE. And there is a lot of restaurants are willing to pay a good sum of money to get these people sponsored. So there is a lot of opportunity, but government is not listening to us. They are always ignoring us. So I'm very much afraid, my friends, my colleagues, that this is something government not helping us. So we are actually lobbying with the government to help and survive this industry. So, and it's not possible for myself or my leader that we can do to help these industries. We need all of your collective support, all of your passions. I mean, a lot of chefs, look, these chefs are here, yeah? These chefs wouldn't be here if they were not recognized. Some of the chefs I can see, they have been recognized previously from the Bangladesh Caterers Association. And as you probably know, there is about nearly 10,000 people works on Huba in here in the city. And most of them, if you think about those people, they are like almost 80% of them coming out from the curry industry, and they went to the different route. Why? Must be there is some lackings. And then there's a lot of our youngsters. They think this is a long unsocial working hours. There is a lot of lengthy work, you know, it's long time work, but it's not anymore. It's all changed, it's gradually changing. And we have to make more changes to bring all these youngsters involved within the industry. So I'm not going to prolong my speech any longer, but I have to I have to say some thanksgiving to people who have actually come here today, and also the sponsors. But first of all, I'd like to especially thanks our lady from the FSB. Thank you very much again, because you have come all the way from very far away. We are looking forward to work together to arrange a vast demonstration at the Trafalgar Square, where we have arranged one in 2008 under the leadership of Bazil Rashid MBE, and we were a success that time. That government has listened us, and we were able to put our voice into the mainstream, into the government, and they have included our name into the shortest occupation list. So that was one of the biggest achievement for the Bangladesh Caterers Association. So hope we can work together to get something like that done in future. Sure. So ladies and gentlemen, now I'd like to thank our sponsors. And sorry, before I go to the sponsor, I need to introduce you some of my colleagues, my working colleagues. They are working really hard to make our 19th of November event, BCA Award and Gala Dinner success. And it would not have been possible without my colleagues and without the sponsors. And those of my colleagues, I'll tell them to stand up just to introduce themselves. I got Restaurant of the Year Committee Head, Mitu Chaudhuri. Please, Mitu Chaudhuri. He's arranging an event in Canary Wharf on the 24th of October this month for the restaurant judging process. And I'd like to invite you all, if you all have time, if you have your time that you can come and join us, you are more than welcome. All you have to need, just contact the BCA office and we'll arrange a ticket for you. So he's arranging that, and he's doing a fantastic job this year. We are well ahead of the plan so far. So thank you very much, Mr. Then with the Mitwai, I have his work colleague is Mujahid Ali Chaudhuri. He's also working with his team. So thank you very much. Please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for helping him. Then we've got another two dynamic people that we have worked really hard for the BCA previously, and now this year they're working hard. And it's head of the Chef of the Year. Previously it was done by Tipu Rahman, Chef Tipu Rahman. He has done tremendously well, and thank you both of you for coming here. It wouldn't be possible without your support. So thank you so much on behalf of BCA, Bangladesh Caterers Association. Yeah, and then I'd like to introduce, tell you the event that happening on the 16th of October is the chef competition, chefs cooking competition. And so far we have about 40 chefs to taking part in that. And some mainstream TV coming to record the event. So that will be happening on the Westminster College. And it will be happening on the Westminster, Ealing and Westminster College on the 16th of October. And Atikur Rahman also getting a lot of help from his coordinator is Helal Malik. Where is Helal Malik? Can I see Helal Malik here? He's gone out, okay. He's also working hard to make this event successful. So thank you very much, and his team. Every individual have their own team, and they're actually working in particularly on that subject. Now I have our cultural committee head, Mr. Nasiruddin. Where is Nasiruddin? Thank you very much, Nasiruddin. Thank you very much. All the cultural event that we organize, he's the man who is actually organizing all this. Then we have a negotiation team leader who has been working hard to getting all the sponsors, all the peoples involved within the BCA. And he's our Fazul Haq. He's really working hard. And let me also tell you that you can see the agro food is here. It's because of him. He got a connection with the Result Buy from Total Food. And then Total Food, he got the connection. Then we got involved. And then the agro food is, Agro Super is also part of the BCA now, this year. So thank you very much for your hard work. Thank you so much. Maybe I'm taking a bit longer, but these are the information that I need to pass on, you know. And ladies and gentlemen, most of the media people, I'm really delighted for all the Asian media. and the mainstream media that we have attended here today.
Better be.
And thank you very much for coming here today. And as you can see, you got a pack here. This pack contains a press release. It's called in Bengali and in English as well. So I'd request, like, if you have short, anyone hasn't got one, please collect it from us, and it's with the press release. And if anyone looking for a softer version in email, then you can just tell us, we'll send you the email so that you can get the exact content, what's written in there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, any event, any program is not possible without the support of the sponsors. And they are the main strength of the doing an event or running a democratically run organization like BCA. As you know, BCA is like, it's a huge organization, but unfortunately, we don't get any fund or any money from the government. So it's run by the members' contributions as well as the sponsors' contributions. And it would not be possible without the support of the sponsors. And for this year event, our main sponsor is Cobra Bear. I'd like to introduce Samsung Suhail Bhai. Thank you very much for supporting us. Thank you so much. And then our another main sponsor is Kingfisher. And from the Kingfisher, I have a gentleman here called, is for Anis Sabwala. Thank you very much, Anis, for coming here today. Thank you so much. Without your support, it's not been possible. And they are not only a friend of BCA for a few years or last 4 or 5 years. They are supporter of BCA for last more than a decade. They've been supporting us for more than a decade. So thank you so much. And then we got another main sponsor who came on board this year, and we hope we're going to get their continuous support throughout our events in the following years and the following years. And there, of course, our sales and marketing department head, I think, is Dave Fleetwood. Then I got Rao, came from all the way from Italy. Then I got Hanan, came all the way from Brazil, Chile. It's quite far away. He got to travel at least 15 hours of travel, you know, from there. And then we got Christiana Kings. He's sitting there. Thank you very much for joining us here today. And then we got other sponsors who are also our part of the BCA. And they are Chef Online. We've got a Salid Bhai here. They are supporting us since last year. And you know how they do their online marketing. It's fantastic. They're doing it very professionally, and they're doing it very wonderful. And I'm actually part of their service user, and I'm really enjoying it. Believe me, you should try them, because what's the most important and what is most attractive is their free website, because they provide you a free website, no cost to you at all. And if you wanted to join them for just a trial period, you can get their service for 6 months free of charge. There is no charge fee. So you can come and join them for 6 months, and then if you don't like it, after 6 months, you are more than happy to go. They have no problem. So thank you very much, Salik Bhai, for supporting us. Then we got Square Mile Insurance. I think unfortunately Dave couldn't come here today for some reasons. So Square Mile also part of the BCA supporter for last 6-7 years. And then we got Sunmark. Sunmark is owned by, you know, a very famous Asian guy who is a CBE. He's a Rami Ranger CBE. And he owned this company. He has been supporting BCA for a long time, and always, anytime that we need any support from Rami Rangers, he's always support us. So thank you very much, Salmak, for supporting us. Then we have, and then we go Madhus. You know, Madhus is part of our event caterer, and as a lot of people have asked, why can't we get any caterer that you know, from well, a lot of people have choice, like, can you change the caterer? But unfortunately, we can't change, because Madhus have a contract with the certain types of 5-star hotels. So you can't change it. But Madhus has been providing us their fantastic service to BCA for a long, long time. Thank you very much, Madhus, for supporting us. And then we have our new sponsor, who recently came up. Now, I have to tell you this is very interesting. Let me show you the ghee. Can you get me the ghee bucket there? This bucket there, yeah, please. Now, because I'm doing some marketing for them, they are very new to the industry. They came to this country just over a year ago, And now can anyone tell me what is the price for a butter ghee in the cash and carry, last week price? Can anyone tell me? No, it's gone up. It's gone to £20 now. Last week best way price is 19.59. It's gone to £20 for 2 kg. This is 1 kg but a jar, but they got like 2 kg and 4 kg. 1 kg, 2 kg and 4 kg. And they have actually signed a contract with us yesterday as a main sponsor. And they're coming up a butter ghee. You'll be surprised to know the price. The price of 2 kg butter ghee is less than £6. It's coming to the market, and we said this is the opportunity for the industry people. That first time ever, last week I told my chef, I'm not going to use butter ghee anymore. And since this company came to the market, I said, BCA going to buy a pallets of ghee from it, believe me, because this is very popular. So butter ghee is with us, guys. That's a good news for us. And then we have our media partner. You'll be surprised to know that our media partner is Sony TV. Sony TV will be our media partner this year, as well as other Bangladeshi and Asian TV will be part of us as well. And hopefully, we are talking with the LBC radio to be part of our media partner in terms of radio side. So these are our sponsors. And as you know, these sponsors wouldn't be possible to making this event happen without these sponsors. So thank you all the sponsors. Thank you so much. Now I can see one of our very well-known member of the BCA have arrived. Although he was a bit late, probably he's stuck in traffic. But you know, he needs to be introduced because he's the guy who's responsible for the membership. Most of you know all the time that your membership get a renewal letter, and that's the letter sent from our membership secretary Saiful Alam. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today. Thank you so much. I'd also like to acknowledge a few other distinguished guests. You know, we got our former mayor of Brent. He's sitting right behind you, Parvez Ahmed. He was the first mayor of BCA, somebody from the BCA board. He was the first mayor. Then we have another, I think it's called chairman of he's a vice chairman at the moment, but he'll be the Jungle Hall. Next year he'll be as a chairman of that borough, because some borough work as a mayor, some borough work as a chairman. So he'll be the chairman of that borough next year. So BC is really proud to have people like them to working in the mainstream. Then of course, ladies and gentlemen, I think there it is. I'd also like to thank these chefs, these young chefs. You know, they have traveled all the way from the college, and there is some winning chef from the last years. Thank you all so much for joining here, and above all, every one of you. I know I can't name every individuals. Please forgive me if I have made any mistakes, if I have done any wrong. Please forgive me, and please enjoy the rest of the show. And we also like to tell you that before I go. You know, for some security reasons and some other reasons, we couldn't provide any food here. But there is BCA has organized a facility for you to have a lunch at Brick Lake in Coffee Grill. So after you finish here, all of you are welcome to come to the Coffee Grill and have your wonderful lunch there. Thank you so much.
I'm going to speed it up now because we're running quite out of time, but I'd now like to invite Mr. Saidul Ram Bittal, Chief Treasurer, who's highly regarded within the BCA. He's also very known for his charitable nature and hugely respected. Please
All distinguished guests, fellow cricketers, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. It is my privilege and honor to be stand here to say a few words. Thank you all and welcome you all for coming to the BCA launch, press launch 2017. My Honorable President and Secretary General covered almost everything. You heard a long speech. But one thing I'd like to mention. As you all know that our interest is in the big threat. Now is the time to be united. And on that case, we need more support. I know that media is supporting us, and highlighting our problems, but we need more support from all the medias because this industry is our backbone. Almost all Bangladeshi are directly or indirectly involved with the catering industry. So if we cannot save this industry, we have to think about our future generation, where they're going to stand. Thank you all very much for listening me, and thank you all once again for coming.
And now I'd like to invite Mr. Pasha Kandakar to say a few words.
Good afternoon. I think it is well covered by my President and my Secretary General as a press launch. I just wanted to say a couple of minutes, if you like, and I would like to take a few chefs with me when I get home. First of all, the BCA's achievement always been celebrated in our award ceremony. Our awards 2017 is on the way. Our success, our effort, our achievement is being well recognized. And the award, we recognize our talent, our hidden talent. Those hidden talent hasn't been recognized by the mainstream. BCA put them in the showcase. Our chef, who's feeding more than few million curry lovers in this country. I'm standing in the House of Commons today. But very sadly, I have to say, my industry is dying. My livelihood. I can see this industry's future is really in dark. We are doing our best from our side to save this industry. And from our side, from BCA, we have loving the government for more than decades. In this common, we had a few dozen of early day Muslim. Mainstream media well covered us, especially during the Brexit time, with the top-level government ministers, including Priti Patel and Boris Johnson. We launched the campaign called Save the Curry Industry. I'm grateful to those parliamentarians for your support and help. But I'm sadly saying that your promise and delivery is a lot so different. You never remember your promise unless you are very pressurized by the people. All those lobbying outcome is zero. We haven't done anything. It's not our fault. We are paying tax, our contribution more than 4 billion to this industry. We create a unique dish called British curry. And it is a part of British heritage. It is a part of British life. And this is not only my job, your job to save this industry. You parliamentarian, you civil servants, please, the media people cover it. You civil servant, you the big bosses, you the politician, please do save this industry. The millions of curry lovers would like to see their restaurant existing in their village. But because of your ignorance, because of your negligence, all those issues being well covered in Brexit, we've been neglected. Why? I would like to remember and remind Mr. Johnson that we travel in the same bus. I myself in the Brexit bus. What do you say? I'd like to make, now I'll go for an easy word now, not tough. I'd like to say, Priti Patel, please remember what you say over there when you launch a mainstream press launch about this industry. Please do remember us. This is not our job only. This is your job as well, because the British curry industry is the backbone of this community, backbone of this nation. It's a part of British life. To my fellow people, we're going to celebrate our event on 19th, but I think we're missing one thing, is that we are not talking to our customer about our problem. Please do talk to your customer. Tell them to create pressure on their local governments. We unite them together. Billions, we are contributing to the economy, and millions love this industry. I'm sure we can save our great industry. And with our great leaders, we are looking for a very good surprise on this event. And it's always good, and this time it will be even better. Thank you.
I'd now like to invite Mr. Maneen, ex-Secretary General, to say a few words.
Mr. President, BCA leaders, sponsors, and media friends, Assalamu alaikum, good evening. I think my BCA leaders have covered all sides, BCA success, BCA problems, and what we need to do. Just only one thing I'll add with it. May I request all the media friends, please help us to overcome this crisis what this industry facing nowadays. The film industry is dying now because we have shortage of staff. So we need your help to overcome these issues. Thank you very much for your attention.
I'd now like to invite BCA's sponsor and friend, Samson, Sales Director at Cobra, to say a few words.
Good afternoon. What an inspirational speech by Pasha Bhai and President and Secretary General. Just I was thinking, and I was just when I came, I met Kamal Bhai, and he says, I was thinking maybe we will not have many weddings in October, but I have so many weddings to attend in October, and Khalid Bhai said, because we are a big community now. And today it has shown it's a big community. And when Ali Bhai introducing so many other responsibilities, and I was just thinking, when we want to go fast, we should go alone. But when we want to go far, we should go together.
Yes.
And we have fear of chef shortage, but if you have a faith and not let our fear take over our faith, we will thrive and we will survive. Even we will not survive, we will come over all the issues and problems, and live example is today here. So new chefs, young blood, and if they will, supporting this industry were very successful many years, and this industry will be successful in coming years. So let's work together and come over all these issues. And last thing, just I will say, if the challenge is tough, the reward is also bigger. So we have a tough challenge, but if we work together, the reward will be bigger. So have a wonderful evening, and we are looking forward celebration of our achievement of 2017 on 19th of November. Wish you all the best.
I'd like the chefs to take their seats, please. You've got a respite for now.
And that just comes as part of your membership. We have lots of things that will support you in your business. We campaign for things like business rates. They impact on so many small businesses, and there are so many problems with accessing the rate relief at the moment. We really lobby into the heart of business, and we would like to develop closer ties with you so that the issues that are your concerns and the concerns of our members become the concerns of all small businesses. Because we just heard from a distinguished guest from Cobra, if you want to go fast, then you go alone, but if you want to go far, then you go together, and we are stronger when we are all together.
Thank you, Helen.
I think this will go viral.
I now would like to invite Raul Squadrito, I hope I pronounced that right, from Europe Sales Director at Agro Europe.
Thank you. everybody, distinguished guests and the board. We appreciate and we're honored to be here, to be part of the...
Our host, Dr. Rupahat MP.
Please continue.
Please continue.
Shortly, as I was saying, we're very happy and honored to be here. And as it's been said, all the challenges working together is the best way to face them and to overcome them. With our chicken, we hope to be part of the industry for a long time. From Chile, we're very happy and have a great evening. We'll see you November 19th. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. You can see that our chief guest is here today, and we have actually hosted the event today. Now, before we go to our, we've got just one or two more speech. And before that, I just need to clarify one thing. As you probably have noticed, that BCA always organize a press launch where at least 10 to 15 members of parliament are there. This year, why we are lucky is because the House is actually recess process at the moment. House will be open on the 9th. And this is why, and as you know, the Conservative Party conference is going on in Far North, and then most of the Conservative Member of Parliament couldn't attend, as well as the Member of Parliament from the Labour Party. So this is why you can't see many of the Member of the Parliament at our event. But we would like to thank, on behalf of Bangladesh Caterers Association, Rupa Hall is a good friend of BCA and good friend of Karilabad, and above all, her father was a caterer. This was the most important thing. Thank you so much. Now I'll carry on with you all. Thank you.
Thank you. I would now like to invite Mr. N.A. Salik, Chef Online.
Thank you very much, Salita. Straight up. My brother, community, Ashwai, distinguished guests, member of the press. Assalamu alaikum. There's nothing much I can say. I think everyone's covered most of the important. One thing I'd just like to touch base on these. I've been in catering since 1982. I've also been to 2 Westminster College, so I know what it's like. There are many of us back in the 70s, 80s. Bangladeshi was chefs in other industries. I've had uncles, I've had my father that worked in Italian restaurant, chartered hotels and so on. What I'd like to say is wonderful to see the young chefs here. And I think us, as somebody said, together we can do it. I think it's time when, despite all the problems we are having with immigration and skilled workers, it's also time we look at our community, we look at it locally and try to bridge that gap. And I think it's wonderful to see that the young chefs here today, and hopefully one day they will be representing the curry industry, and they could be looking to fill that gap that we are so much lacking. Thank you very much. I won't say anything, taking your time.
I now invite Dr. Rupa. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much. So, assalamu alaikum everyone, and it's good to see. The more I look, the more I can see people that I know from throughout my life is flashing past me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we have ex-mayor of Brighton and lots of distinguished guests. So I feel I can be honest to you for that reason, because it's people that I know. So yeah, Association event here today. And as Oliver pointed out, I am a child of curry. I would not exist without the Bangladesh catering industry. So my father had at one stage 2 restaurants. The first one in 57 Brewer Street, second one in Harrow. So that put food on the table for me and my siblings. And my sister Connie Huck, you might know from Lupita. And I always associate that smell of the tonga oven in my dad's jacket when he would come and then put it on the chair, and then it would be emanating the clay oven smell. I love the aroma. And it made an important contribution to British culture. You know, people often say there is no such thing really as English cuisine. If you go out and you eat in a restaurant, that will be an Italian restaurant, a Chinese restaurant, and obviously an Indian restaurant, which, as we know, are largely owned and run by Bangladeshis. And it was our late Foreign Secretary, Robin Cook, when he was asked what is the national dish, said it is chicken tikka mashallah. I think these kind of things, you know, if you go to Bangladesh, which I was there in January, actually, is anybody here who was there with us in January? No. I went on a visit with Labour friends in Bangladesh. None of that food anyone in Bangladesh would recognise. But anyway, it was, I don't know, created under laboratory.
British curry, British
Yeah, it is as British as fish and chips, which again, if you look at the origin of fish and chips, where did that come from? That method of the fish deep frying it in batter is from the Middle East, and those chips, they are from Belgium, the way of frying the potatoes that way. So again, when you look at the iconic British drink of tea, there are no tea mills here, are there? You know, they're in China or India or somewhere, so that just shows that, and Bangladesh, obviously, Assam, Javagan and all that, we saw in Sylhet when I was there in January. So, I mean, again, it just shows how British culture has adapted and transformed and in an organic and evolutionary way come about. And the Bangladeshi Catering Association have been there since 1960. Yes. Even older than me, that means. And again, it's kind of turned into part of our staple diet, and I think it has played an important role in the BCA throughout these Brexit negotiations. Because again, that vote, that terrible day on June the 23rd, 2016, part of the way that they achieved this vote, we all know about the lines with the NHS, the £350 million a week that they promised. That ain't going to happen, I hate to break it to you. And the same with the catering industry that they led up the garden path. We have seen the difficulties of the Tier 2 visas, and actually I was the first person to raise the curry crisis in the House of Commons. In autumn 2015, I asked George Osborne. Yes. Remember him? Look at these people, David Cameron, they destroy our country, they completely have left the crime scene. But anyway, yeah, I asked him about the terrible plight where we hear that 2 restaurants a week are going to 4. 3 to 4. Okay, it's double, tripled since I raised it. 3 to 4. And you know, this makes an important contribution, £5 million a year to our economy, the service industries, all those other things that. So you know, I said, what are you going to do about it? And he said that we need to have curry colleges to train people here, but we know that people don't want to do it here. And we know that the children of curry, often they've gone on to be doctors and MPs in some cases, and that kind of thing. So I mean, it's unrealistic. But we have this dogmatic government who, rather than look at the skill shortages in the economy and plug the gaps accordingly, would rather have this ridiculous, unachievable, unsustainable target of tens of thousands, get migration down to the tens of thousands.